Good morning. It's Kim. Hi, how are you this morning? It's Saturday morning, January 5th, 4th, something like that. I'm not sure. I think it's the 4th. Anyway, doesn't matter. When you hop on, say hi. Tell me where you're coming from. I love to hear where all my people are coming from all over Canada and the US. It's so awesome. Hi, good morning. How are you? I am going to work with this piece of, it's not even kiln dried, it's just a piece of slab of wood that my neighbor gave me. He actually gave me a whole bunch. I got a bunch of them sitting over there. And I want to try and do something with it. It's cracked. Yes, I know. And I'm kind of going to go with that today. I have a sense of humor. I hope you do too. Of course, if you're on this page, you have a sense of humor. Because if you put up with me, hi, Julie, hi. Hi from Iowa. Hi, how are you? Iowa's sort of central US, right? I'm in Canada, sort of a little to the, let's see, if you go straight up, I'd be more on the right-hand side. Hi, Teresa. Hi, how are you? So I'm going to paint this thing today, and I asked for ideas the other day, and you guys had some great ideas. Good morning, Kay. Hi, how are you? And I thought I'm going to give one of them a shot, and I'm really curious to see if this will work. Hi, Diane. So that we can do something with these, because you know what, you can get these, and to get them perfect, like without the crack, it takes a lot more work than I'm willing to put into it. I'm kind of thinking for a painting party, and I have a bunch of these to use, so I'd like to just do one or two sort of parties, and that'll be the end of it. I do them here in my studio in that case, and because I have a mobile painting party business as well. But something like this. Hi, Pam from Pennsylvania, Limerick, Pennsylvania. Should I try a limerick? No. Thanks, Pam. I appreciate that. Pam shared the video. And because this is going to be interesting. Now, I've never done this. I just have an idea, and I'm going live and trying it right in front of you so we can all see. Maybe this works, maybe it doesn't, but have a backup plan if this doesn't work. So good God, help us all. All right, so my name is Kim. This is the Farmhouse Decor DIY workshop, or not workshop, sorry. I wish I'd have thought of all this when I realized I was going to be going live a lot. Farmhouse Decor DIY Club. And we also have the Farmhouse Craftaholics Club, which is a group. This is a page, so this is basically run by me, but the group is a group for all of us. So if you're interested in joining the group, click on where it says groups under the DIY or the page here, and you'll find Farmhouse Craftaholics Club. If you see beta painting party thing, don't bother trying to join that. That's just simply for 10 women that are getting together and helping me develop a painting party course. So you can try and get in, but I'm not going to let you. So I'm the boss of that page. I'm the boss of this page, and I'm the boss of the Craftaholics page. But the Craftaholics page is more of a fun, you know. What am I making, Lori? I'm hoping to stencil something on here, okay? Now, I have always said, and you have probably always heard me say, a lot of sign makers think this has to be perfectly smooth in order to stencil. Thanks, Teresa. And that's not true, okay? I'm calling BS on that one. And that's only because they've been told that, and that's what they've been taught, and that's what they are told is to do. But I teach stenciling to beginners, and I am not up for sanding every single board I take out there. I've done lots. Like I do 100 parties a year, maybe more, 200 parties a year sometimes. That's a lot of sanding I don't want to do. And I'm not going to have them standing in restaurants and stuff like that, because who wants people standing right next to them when you're eating your meal, right? So I tested and tested and tested and realized you don't need to sand. I'm going to save you a ton of work. You're going to thank me so much if you're a sign maker. You don't need to sand. It's all in the technique, okay? So I got this slab from my neighbor. He brought me a bunch because I asked him to, and this had fallen and was about to be cut up for firewood, and I said to him, can you give me a bunch of slabs? And he said, sure. It's literally chainsaw cut, if you can see how rough it is right now, okay? And he brought it over and left it all on my step, a big stack of them. It was like half a tree on my step, because I asked him, and he was kind enough to do it. And I love the live edge, okay? Now, I mean, you could do lots with this, and I actually saw this. I was at Marshall's yesterday, and they had this made into a cheese board, and they had the crack in it. So you could definitely go that route. That takes a lot more sanding, because you don't want it to be rough like this, okay? So I could get my husband to get his famous, fabulous sander out and show me how, or show me how, like, make a few mistakes, and then he'll do it for you. It's like painting the house. Shh, don't tell anybody, but here's what I say. Do a really bad job once, they'll never ask you again. I've been married for 33 years, and I've only been asked to paint once, and walls and stuff. I love painting this kind of stuff. I hate painting the house. My sister-in-law absolutely adores painting the house. So we work some trades. But my husband likes painting too, so that's cool. And probably because I'm doing such a terrible job at it, he just doesn't ask. All right, so I was sitting here trying to figure out how I was going to display this once I got it. Good morning, Betty from Southern California, you lucky devil, you. How I'm going to display this, and I thought I'm going to need to put it on a stand or something. Then I realized if you play around with it, some spots stand just like that. So you could just literally stand it on your bookcase. Some don't. Okay, so you have to try it. If you get one of these pieces of wood, try it until you get. See, that's kind of unstable. And I kind of want to go this way just because I've got an idea. So it stands by itself. That's cool. I mean, you could put it on a stand, but I love that it'll just stand up there by itself. So I am going to work with that. And I made myself a little reusable stencil. And this is so me. Hi, Karen. Hi. Joe, I was just talking about you and how you love to paint the house. That's my sister-in-law that loves to paint the house. I am the sister-in-law that does not love to paint the houses. We joked last time Joe moved that the walls had come in by about 4 inches with all the times that she's painted. Thank you, Jenny. I appreciate that. So this is a stencil I made. It's going to be reusable, okay? And it's done on cardstock. That makes it reusable. You could cut it on acetate if you really want to make it like last forever. But I just want to try that this morning, okay? So this is me. This is me. This is going on here, okay? That's the plan, and we're gonna see. I'm gonna try and stencil it on with no prep, okay? No sanding, no shellac, no nothing. I'm not gonna put a sealer on it. I am literally going with the bare wood, okay? Because I wanna see what's gonna happen, and I got a few of these to work with, so if it goes like that, then that's okay. Actually, if it goes like that, I'm gonna paint over it. I'm gonna paint a big area right here and then stencil on that. I know that would work, okay? But this is what I want to try because this is what I want to teach. And so I made the stencil, and the beauty of these things is you can cut them up so you can fit them where you want them and try it out. I am not a fan of the vinyl stencils, and it would probably not work for this at all because this is so rough. It would never stick to it. I don't know how you would do that. That would be kind of way not fun. So I'm gonna just do this way for a minute because I want to make sure it's gonna be straight on this side. All right. Did I bring any tape? Oh yes, I did. All right. So I'm gonna stand this up so you can see what I'm like this, and I'm gonna put that. Now I'm gonna turn it around so I can see because right now I'm doing it sort of backwards. Although I suppose it doesn't really matter, right? Because if you're cracked, I just want to make sure it's not actually in the crack, and even if it was, I am going to go right over that crack. That's what I'm going to do. All right, so that's part number 2. We're going to see how that works. And then I will add number 1 in a minute. I think we're good there. You like the idea, Karen? That's awesome. I think it's a great idea. Now, whether it works or not, we're about to find out. So I stencil. Yes, Karen. Kathy, somebody gave it to me. I asked one of my neighbors when they told me they were cutting it down at their camp if they would bring me some slabs, and they brought me these about 10 chainsawed pieces. This is literally chainsawed, no sanding. Oh, actually, no, that's not true. I took a light sand, like 10 seconds, with really 150 grit. I mean, you could use even less, okay? So I think I'm going to go kind of on an angle. Remember, I want this to stand by itself. So I'm going to start to stencil, and we're going to see what happens. So I use makeup sponges, especially because I like to do parties, and women are much more comfortable with makeup sponges than they are stenciling brushes. This is not quite even on the back. That's okay. So I can just hear it bouncing around a little bit. So we're going to take a quick look now. First time watching, Carolyn. Oh, well, you're in the right place at the right time. how did you come to find me? And I'm just gonna look and see it's starting to happen, okay? So that's what I'm going for. Thank you, Kathy, I appreciate that. So that's what I'm going for. And you can make it as rustic or as solid as you like. So I'm gonna just carry on and we're gonna see. Now I just think if this didn't work, I have a paintbrush ready to paint over, like paint in a big circle of white if I wanted to, or brown or whatever color. I think Costa, I don't know if Costa's on here this morning. You have, Teresa, you have a very large one from a tree you planted eons ago. Okay, then this is an idea. I mean, there's plenty. This is just, I figure, you know what, it's already cracked. I've got nothing to, I'm not going to lose anything by trying something on it now. All right, because it can all become firewood if this doesn't work. So, but I've got about 1,000 ideas that I could do with this. I just thought, I want to show you, I want to prove to you, you do not need to sand to paint. Look, it's coming along. Okay, that's just one coat. The thing with stenciling, layers, baby, light is best, light is right. So layers are what you want to do. So I'm gonna, this is already dry. Look at that, it's already dry. Yeah, Joe, if you want, I got a few of them over here. I'll trade you for some paint. Joe's my sister-in-law. So, all right, so now the second layer is going on. And again, this is all about how much you want, how much depth of color you want. So yours is cracked too. Teresa, you know what? Yes, Karen, I made the stencil. I make my own, and because I use reusable, they're harder to come by. I don't use the, I have vinyl, I have it, I don't use it for parties ever. And so I need to make my own stencils for my parties. And so this is what happens. And this is just in a development idea, and I thought, I mean, I know I can get these slabs of wood. Hi, Rosina. Hi, how are you? But if you want, I do have an Etsy page, and if you want, I do have reusable SVGs up there if you have a Cricut or a Silhouette. Oh yeah, it's coming along. No bleeding at all, not a single bit. If you want, just ask me. I'll put it up there and you can buy it from there, and then you just cut it on your machine on some cardstock. You can size it to whatever size you need and works for you, because it's SVG, it's scalable, right? Looking good. I like it. All right. See how light I'm going? And I like these because you can do this, right, while you're working. And when you're working with beginners, man, that's the way to go. Because there's nothing like getting to the end of a project with stencil vinyl, pulling off the vinyl and seeing all kinds of bleeds. That's so discouraging for new crafters and crafters that are coming to a paint night for fun with their friends. And I want them to go home thinking, oh, that was so fun, I loved it, I'm coming back. So, because, you know, it's good for me as a business. I'm not dumb, right? I'm crazy, but I'm not dumb. All right, so we got, I'm gonna say this is working, definitely working. So I'm gonna put one more layer, why not, eh? I mean, let's go all dark color. No, I usually like the rustic look, but I'll be done in 5 minutes if I, if I don't go with a few coats here. And then we'll be bored and you'll just have to sit here and watch what, I don't know, talk to me. Good morning, everybody that's on here. We are stenciling on a chainsaw cut piece of slab of live edge wood. So if you got anybody that can give you a piece of wood, they're cutting up a tree and they have a chainsaw and they're cutting up the tree, get them to cut you off a few slabs, okay? Now when they dry, because they're at home, they're gonna crack. So we're working with that, okay? All right, I like that. So I'm stopping there. I've got the first part in. See that? Do you see? There is no bleeds on that thing. And that is really rough wood. It'd be just like barn wood. Okay, you could do this on barn wood. You think this was a page you want a gift card on? I don't think so, because I don't think I've ever given a gift card away. I couldn't remember. I just think it was to contact you in 24 hours. I hope. Yeah, it wasn't me. But hey, I'm glad you're here anyway. However you got to me, it's fine. Yeah, Diane's right. You can just sit there and watch paint dry. Am I going to seal this, Lori? No, I don't think so. I would seal it if I was going to make it into a cheese board. Yes, I would definitely seal it with food grade sealer, okay? But because it's got paint on it, you can't really call it food safe, and I wouldn't. But here's the thing. If you go to Magnolia and look at their not cheese boards, but their, what's the thing I'm looking for, the word, cake stands and things like that made out of wood. They say not food grade safe, and they're selling those at Magnolia, okay? Just, they say, put a piece of parchment paper down and it'll be lovely. So you could do the same darn thing here, okay? I would seal it with a food grade sealer once this is dried for 24 hours at least. And then I would say, put a piece of parchment paper down and protect it, just like they do at Magnolia. Because if it's good enough for Joanna, it's good enough for me, right? And I'm sure it's good enough for you. All right, so we're back to this, and I'm gonna just cut these. So now this has become basically, I can put it wherever I like, and I can play around with it, not worry about it being sticking to anything because there's no vinyl here, because I'm a lazy stenciler and I don't want to have to deal with that. And I like stencils that I can use again and again. I do, okay? So, but that's just me. Lots of people use the vinyl, are really good at it. I'm not really good at it, but it's because I've never really worked at it. And if you're really good at it and you love it, more power to you. So, the downside is with vinyl, actually not while you're doing this though. Once it's on, you can kind of see through it, but not while you're doing this part because you have the backing on usually. So this is, I mean, you still have the same situation that you have to kind of play around a bit. So I want this to stand like that. So I want to make sure I'm going to start with this and then I'll add that after. Okay? Sound good? And then I don't know what you'll probably see this up behind me. Oh, here's how the last video turned out. Remember we glued it on? Teresa, you were right. The craft glue, like the Elmer's craft glue, wasn't that great. I would have Mod Podged it next time. I think it turned out really great, so I'm happy with it. I did Mod Podge over it after the fact, off camera. So, but hey, I'm really pleased with how it turned out. So, there we go. There's that. Back you go. So back to, where did I put my sponge? Oh, there it is. See? So like I say, I teach with the sponge because my gang are almost always new crafters, people that have never crafted or are terrified to paint. They just came with their friends because their friends thought it would be fun. And I give them lots of credit because they paid money to come to something they think they're going to be bad at and that they are going to go home and throw it away. And then they're always pleasantly surprised at, always, I mean literally every single one of them, finds out, oh wait a minute, this is not bad. And in fact, I mean, they start getting fancy and it's so much fun to watch them. It really is when they relax, which is right after I show them this part. Once they're relaxed, which is like we're 10 minutes into the game, then they start to drink their wine and chat with their friends and ask each other about colors and then admire each other's work. It is like the best job in the world. It really is. So I cannot complain. I'm gonna go with another layer because I'm just gonna do it nice and dark. I wouldn't normally, I would probably go light. Now see, this is already dry. That's how light I'm going, okay? Just so you know that. And this is the roughest wood you're gonna get, chainsaw cut, no, like one quick 5-second sand with a very rough sandpaper just to knock the edges off the top, basically. That's all it was, just to knock off the rough, like with standing up like hair. But I can still feel all the ridges in there, which is what I want. I want it to keep that, because if I'm working on barn board, I do not want to sand it. I don't want to take that great patina off that's taken 100 years to go on. So I need to find a way to get the paint on without having to sand it down to like tile, okay? And people tell other people that all the time. You have to make it so smooth like a baby's butt, you know. Do you? You decide, okay? Like I say, most of the time it's just what they're taught and what works for them. But this is what works for me, and I spent a lot of time figuring it out, because I want, there we go, I want my gang who comes to my parties to have fun. I want it to be easy. I want it to be like, oh my God, that's it? That's all there is to this? So let's stand this up just so we can see where it's going to sit naturally. So I got to turn it this way so I can see what I'm doing. Oh, it's looking like it's starting to snow out there a little bit. All right, so I'm going to go there. Now you don't have to cut up your stencil. I could have just cut around it, put it on there. Oh, Sharon, it's your first time watching from North Carolina. I love North Carolina. I do. It's where the weather starts to get better when you're coming down from Ontario to Florida. And the weather just turns into spring, and it's so nice when we've been in, you know, deep winter for months. All right. So like I say, we have a club, the Farmhouse Craftaholics. It's somewhere up there. It says join the group or visit the group. If you'd like to get to know us better, me and all the people that, you know, visit my page that like to be friendly and like to share their crafts and stuff, we're over there. This is my page, and only I can post actual stuff here, like, and then you can comment, but in the group, everybody can post, everybody can share. It's really, that's what I want for it. I want it to be, everybody can work. Thanks, Teresa, you are so sweet. See, that's the kind of women we have. Welcome to Sharon from Teresa. That's the kind of people in our group, is lovely ladies, just lovely. Because we don't put up with no BS, like people being trolls or acting nasty to each other, right? I'm a mom in that group, right? There we go. And I protect my people. And if somebody comes in and is nasty, they're banned, no questions asked, no warnings, goodbye. Because we don't have time for that in life, right? When you join a group, you want it to be a group that you're going to feel safe in, and you're going to have fun in, and you're going to, you know, enjoy. If you join a group to cause trouble, I'm the wrong group for you. And I am not afraid to hit that ban button. So I want us all to have a good time. I want us all to feel like we're having fun in there, and our opinion matters, and we count, you know, we count. You all count. You all do. You all count to me. Every one of you on this page. All right. So there we go. I could go a little darker, but I'm going to pull that for now, like so. Okay. Let's see. Now I can add more. I keep a ton, because I have a party business. I keep a ton of other stencils. Let's see if I can, this way. There we go. I keep a ton of other stencils that I can use. I could put like hearts down there. I could put dog paws. I keep all these other little stencils hanging around. What's the name of my group? Farmhouse Craftaholics Club. Okay, please join us, Karen. I'd love to have you guys. You have to answer a couple questions to get in. It's nothing serious, but it just keeps the bots and the trolls and the and people like the spammers out, right? Because we don't want those guys. I know, isn't this so? It's so fun. I love this. It turned out way better than I hoped. Like, I kind of thought it might work, but I didn't know for sure. But I thought, oh, wow, what could be better than go live in front of you guys and let's find out together, right? So I do like how it worked out. So I could put in some hearts there. I could put in whatever works for you. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to touch up the little okay, these are called counters. Let's see if you can see this now because I painted on it. Right there. See that part of the D? That's called a counter. Okay, so to keep the counter in, you have these little things called bridges. That's what makes this reusable. All right, keeps that piece there so it doesn't disappear when you're cutting. So you can fill in the bridges if you want. Totally up to you. And also, like I said, if you want this stencil, shoot me a message and I'll put it up in the Etsy store. The Etsy store is, you go to Etsy and it's Little Faux, F-A-U-X, Farmhouse. That's the Etsy store. It's got about 40 or 50 stencils in it, and an actual lesson, like a little book I wrote with a video lesson on actually how to stencil, which is more detailed than this. Farmhouse Decor DIY Club, that's me. And then the group is Farmhouse Craftaholics Club, because that's kind of what we are, right? At least I am, and the people in there, we all love crafting, and we love each other, and we love building each other up. So, so I'm just going to take a little tiny brush, and I'm going to fill in those bridges just ever so slightly, and that just takes it from stenciled look, which you probably wouldn't have even noticed if I hadn't have mentioned it, to hand painted look. So yeah, the stencils that I have on my Etsy store, in the they're SVGs. You have to cut them on your Cricut, okay? They have these counters built right in, so you just put it on your Cricut, set your cardstock into your machine, however you do that. I don't have a Cricut. I had a Silhouette. I actually have a different machine now, a bigger, more commercial one. I actually have 3 of them. But you put it into your Cricut. It's an SVG. It'll go right into your Cricut or your Silhouette if you have a business edition or a designer edition, I think. You have to be able to import an SVG. That's important. If you can import an SVG, you can do this. So then you scale it to whatever size you want for your wood. There you go. Oh, I'm going to touch that up a bit too. And then cut it on cardstock or acetate or mylar, or some people use laminating folders. They laminate them together and then they cut on that. You have to figure your machine out for that. Once you do though, once you got the settings, you're all good. And then you can do something like this. And then I think this would be a great gift for those people that have a great sense of humor in your life, which are most of the people in my life. Because if you haven't got a sense of humor, again, I'm probably not the place for you. I'm sorry, I can't help it. Not sorry, really. I mean, life's too short not to laugh and have a good time, right? If you can possibly do it, why not? So there we go, guys. It did work. I'm pretty happy with it. I will probably do some photos of it later. And I think I'm going to be starting a YouTube channel. So I'm going to be uploading these videos to YouTube as well. So I will let you know on that, because I would love it if you guys would go over and subscribe or do whatever it is they do on YouTube. I'm not really sure. It's just going to be these videos for now. I'm not doing anything special. Let's see. I buy poster board from the dollar store. Yes, absolutely, Diane. That works great. That was my first go-to. When I was running my sign painting party business, I started to order from online because I needed more than I could find. I had to go from dollar store to dollar store to dollar store. But once you figure it out, you cut it and you figure it out on your machine and you get your settings, it's awesome. It's really a great way to go. So you can make yourself these stencils, okay? And then this will dry, and sometimes these little things will kind of stand up. Let's see if I can show that. Like, they'll stand up a little bit because they're wet. So you just let it dry completely, and then it will be good to go again. And you just put it down, and because you're going straight up and down, in the lesson you learn to go straight up and down, because you're going just straight up and down, this gets pushed down every time you touch it with your sponge, okay? So don't worry about that. Like I say, in the Etsy store, there's a lesson. So that's Little Faux Farmhouse, which is actually the actual name of this page. And Farmhouse Decor DIY Club is part of that. Little Faux Farmhouse is like the umbrella, and that's where you're gonna find my shop in Etsy. It's not a big shop. I'm just testing it out. But I do sell the SVGs, and this is not the only one. This is going up later today, but this is, I figure there might be a need for it, for people to make their own reusable ones. Okay, so any questions, anybody? Is there anything you want to know that I haven't answered so far? I'm just going to sit here and wait. Anybody? So did you do this? Because if you did this, I really appreciate it. It really helps my business. It just helps me to expand out to people, just to people you think in your circle that would be interested in doing this or in doing crafting in general, because that's pretty much what we do here. So any crafter in your life, right? Because they might be interested in something we do. Maybe not everything, but something. Thank you, Diane. I appreciate that. But what it helps is for me to get my page out to them so they can meet me. And if they meet me, they might decide to join my page, and that's all good for me. You know, that's how you can help support the small business, by not paying any money, but by recommending me, basically, is what you're doing. You're like, hey, watch this, you know? So if you think your friend might like to try this, or you might like to try this, definitely please share. And have a great day, ladies. And I will be back later on in the week with yet another project that I don't know what it's going to be yet. So I'll probably add something down here, because this seems a little naked. Maybe, you know what, maybe like a vine or something. Thank you, Amber. Yes, and only wish you could do more lives. Oh yeah, I could do 1 million of them. That would be the thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the lives over on YouTube. So you'll be able to go through them and find them when you want. But I think I'll put a little vine or something there to kind of fill that. That space seems a little empty. So you know what you could do? You could put, you could put anything there. You could put twigs or cotton or flowers or rhinestones, or what else could you, you can stencil on there. That's probably what I'm going to do. You could make a bow out of like burlap and twine and put that on there. Oh, excuse me, getting over a cold. Whatever you want to do. So if you're a little cracked like me, stick around. We're going to have a lot of fun together. So cheers, guys. I hope you have a great day. Bye for now. I love you all. I do, really. You're really important to me.